Every single investor who has ever lost money on a deal had one thing in common. They asked the wrong questions at the walkthrough. And we're not talking about rookie mistakes here. We're talking about seasoned buyers who walked through a property, nodded their heads, and handed over a check like they were buying a sandwich. So let's get into it, because the walkthrough is not a formality, it is a deposition, and that house is on trial. You are the detective, the judge, and the jury. And if you don't play all three roles simultaneously, the property wins. The catalyst behind most bad deals isn't the market, it isn't the interest rate, and it honestly isn't even the seller, it's the question you didn't ask. Think of the walkthrough like an iceberg. What you see is the fresh paint, the staged furniture, and the scented candles strategically placed to make you feel like you're already home. What's underneath that iceberg is where your money lives or dies. The roof, the foundation, the electrical panel, the plumbing, these are the load-bearing truths of any investment, and they don't volunteer themselves. There was a moment not too long ago when the market was so hot that investors were skipping inspections entirely, waiving contingencies, and calling it competitive strategy. We watched that era end, and we watched a lot of portfolios get very, very quiet afterward. The psychological whiplash of going from euphoric bidding wars to, wait, why is the basement wet, is real. And the experts who study investor behavior will tell you that urgency and FOMO are the two most expensive emotions you can bring to a walkthrough. Even the most experienced operators have a story about a deal they rushed. Ask them, and they'll tell you with a 1,000-yard stare of someone who once ignored a cracked heat exchanger. Historically, real estate cycles have always had a boom phase that makes caution look foolish, followed by a correction phase that makes caution look genius. The 1980s savings and loan crisis, the 2008 housing collapse, the post-pandemic correction, every single one was preceded by a generation of investors who thought, this time is different, while walking through properties with their hearts instead of their checklists. The one question that cuts through all of it, the single most important thing you can ask at any walkthrough is this: what has this property never had done to it? That question flips the entire dynamic, because instead of asking what's been fixed, you're excavating what's been ignored, deferred, avoided, or buried under a fresh coat of paint and good staging. Here's a misconception we need to kill right now. Most people think the walkthrough is about confirming what they already want to buy. No, the walkthrough is about finding every reason not to buy it and then deciding if those reasons are deal breakers or negotiating chips. The roof that hasn't been replaced in 25 years isn't necessarily a deal breaker. It's a $15,000 conversation. The electrical panel that's still running on a Federal Pacific breaker from 1972, however, is an insurance nightmare and a potential fire hazard, and no amount of staging candles changes that math. So here's your practical framework. Go in with a written list, ask what has never been done first, then follow up with what was done and when, and never let the seller's agent answer for the seller. You are not there to be polite. You are there to protect your capital. And the most disciplined investors treat every walkthrough like a structured interview with a motivated liar on the other side of the table. Size your risk accordingly. Get a real inspection from an inspector you hired, not one recommended by the listing agent. And never let enthusiasm override the numbers. The process matters more than the conviction. And patience beats timing every single time. Because a deal you didn't do never costs you money. At the end of the day, real estate rewards the systematic and punishes the sentimental. Discipline, sizing, and consistency. Those are the three variables that separate the investors who build wealth from the ones who collect expensive stories. And here's the beautiful part. If you go into every walkthrough prepared, ask the uncomfortable questions, and let the answers dictate your offer rather than your emotions, you become genuinely comfortable with any outcome, whether you buy it, renegotiate it, or walk away entirely. That kind of rational detachment isn't cold, it's the most powerful competitive advantage in the room. If you want help getting started, whether that's real estate investing, home contracting work, or finding the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.